Welcome back here to First at 4. We moved Pam onto the blue couches. We've not had you on the blue couches. I know when we started this First at 4 show, I think we talked over there. But happy to have you here today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to be here, and I'm glad to sit on the blue
I know.
couch.
You picked them out.
Well, you helped me.
We picked them out together. Kara and I love them. John Stalin hates them.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay, yeah. But and you picked out the fireplace, so this really was your whole, you put this together for us and visualize it, and we love it. I'm having the most fun of my career doing this show and being in here talking to people like you. And so I want to thank you for that. It's great. But let's talk about a life in this career. So you're going to retire. You've been general manager for how many years?
12 years.
12 years. And you started with the company. It's a little tricky because it changed hands ownership a little bit.
But 1988,
Yeah.
so it's been 35 years, you know, here in this location with WICU and then WICU, SEE, and the whole Lily Broadcasting.
Thing. And when I started here, you were in sales. Yeah, but that's not where you started initially, was it? Or was it when you came here?
No, it was,
You started here in sales. Because I know you had a radio career, but that was before you came here.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So you've been in the entertainment communication business for a long, long time. And I've always looked back and admired the way that you have been able to be a trailblazer for women. It's not easy. I mean, you know, we coin, well, you know, it's a man's world. But you have had to deal with some ups and downs, I'm sure, over the years. Yeah, anything you want to share or talk about or reflect on?
Well, it's interesting. I was just talking to some people earlier and saying, you know, when I started, and it's really not a criticism because times were different.
They were.
So, you know, I was the one female in the group of men selling, and they would turn and say, "We'd like some coffee, so I'll take mine black, or you know, I'll take cream, or whatever it happened to be." And there I was going, "Oh, okay," you know. And then somebody said,
You don't have to do that.
You don't need to do that.
How long did it take you to be able to say, no, that's not my job?
Well, it was a couple weeks, to be honest. And I was so grateful to have the job. And, you know, really, it was just a different time.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it was a time when things were starting to change and evolve, and women were saying no. And, you know,
but even today, sometimes it can be a little tricky as well. And you've been general manager here. You've done a great job. And I think part of that is because you've been with the company. You understood the sales end. You understood the news end. You had a good feeling for how the whole shebang has to work together.
Absolutely. And it was a learning curve. And, you know, when I switched over into general manager, some of the news people were, I know, concerned, and it actually came to me and said, you know, you're from sales, you know, are you gonna be able to understand this news part? And absolutely, you know, because I'm a great viewer.
Exactly.
I know exactly what I want to see, and you know, and so we had a lot of conversations. And, Mike Rusi and I had a lot of conversations, to be honest with you, about, you know, what it takes to be a news person, and you know, give me some insight into that.
What do you think is the one thing that you most learned that surprised you the most about being in this kind of a job?
It's a lot of work. Everybody thinks, you know, oh, you're the boss, you're the general manager, you're whatever, you know, you're
out golfing, you're at cocktail parties.
Yeah, you're just having fun. That is true. I do have fun, but I do a lot of work.
You do
a lot of work.
And you do a lot of work. You do a lot of work here. There's a lot of sales meeting. There's a lot of managerial meetings. There's a lot of planning. There's long-term planning. I mean, you're here all the time.
I am.
So what are you going to do with your time off? I feel like your wheels are going to be spinning a little bit at first, don't you think? Are you a little nervous about it?
I was, but I think I'm going to be able to spend more time with my grandchildren, which is going to be nice. I also am going to continue doing some public affairs things with the station, so like our coat drive and things like that we just talked about. But yeah, I'm going to be able to travel. You know, when life, you know, changes, we've talked about this. I lost my grandson last year, and it just gave me a chance to look at life a little bit differently and say, you know, I need to be more available.
Perspective changes a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
And it's a great time to do it. You've got some family out in Montana, and you've got family here, but it's a nice time to be able to travel and take advantage of that time.
Absolutely.
You've got great grandchildren growing up and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to stick around. You're in what we call semi-retirement, which this company loves to do, which I'm thrilled about. Kara is in she's part-time. I was part-time for a while. This company has been great great with listening to our needs as life ebbs and flows and changes. And that's why I've been here over 20 years, because you and I were able to work together when the rubber was hitting the road and things were getting difficult. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.